It only takes a moment for life to turn upside down. One day, you're standing at the top of the world, and the next, you're staring at the ruins of everything you thought would last forever. Money, fame, power, none of it protects you when life decides to test your heart. Eleanor Grace knew this pain better than anyone. Once a woman who could buy almost anything, she woke up one morning realizing she had nothing left, not her company, not her friends, not even a reason to smile. Hey everyone, welcome back to Kindness Lights, the place where real stories remind us that compassion still changes lives. If you believe kindness can heal hearts, make sure to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us keep spreading light, one story at a time. Now, let's begin today's story. Eleanor Grace wasn't born into wealth. She had built her empire from nothing, long nights, endless meetings, and more sacrifices than anyone would ever see. At 38, she was the face of power and success, the kind of woman featured on magazine covers under headlines like, "The Billionaire Who Never Stops." But when the economy crashed, so did her world. One bad investment turned into a disaster, investors pulled out, and within weeks, her billion-dollar company folded. The people who once called her inspiring suddenly stopped answering her calls. Her mansion was sold. Her cars were gone. The only thing left was a small apartment she'd rented under someone else's name, because she couldn't face being recognized. The night it all fell apart, she sat alone in her now empty office, the glow of her computer screen reflecting in her tear-filled eyes. Red numbers scrolled across the screen, showing the collapse of everything she had worked for. She pressed her hands to her face, whispering, "How did I lose it all?" For weeks, she barely left her apartment. Days blurred together. The strong, confident woman the world once admired had vanished. She felt invisible, powerless, forgotten. Then one morning, she forced herself to go outside, to walk, just to feel something again. The air was cold, the streets quiet. She ended up in front of a small diner she'd never noticed before, its sign flickering weakly in the daylight, Maggie's Corner Cafe. Inside, it smelled like coffee and cinnamon. It was simple but warm, wooden booths, old photos on the wall, and the soft hum of old country music playing through the radio. She sat down by the window, trying not to be noticed. Her clothes were plain, her hair pulled back. To anyone else, she looked like an ordinary woman down on her luck. A man approached with a coffee pot in hand. His uniform said Jack. He looked to be about 40, with kind blue eyes and the calm face of someone who had seen life's rough edges but never let it harden him. Morning, he said with a gentle smile. Coffee. Eleanor nodded, her voice barely a whisper. Please. He poured her a cup, then noticed her trembling hands. You okay? He asked softly. She wanted to lie, to say she was fine. But something in his voice, steady and warm, broke through the walls she'd built around herself. No, she finally said. Not really. Jack didn't push. He just gave her a small nod and said, then this one's on the house. It had been years since someone had done something kind for her without wanting anything in return. She looked up at him, confused. Why? He smiled faintly. Because everyone needs a little grace on hard days. That simple act, one free cup of coffee, was the first crack in her darkness. Eleanor started coming back every morning. At first, she just sat quietly with her coffee. But eventually, she started talking to Jack. He told her he was a single dad raising his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. His wife had passed away 2 years ago. He worked nights cleaning office buildings and mornings at the diner. He didn't have much, but he always said he had enough. When Eleanor asked how he managed to stay so positive, he replied, because every day I wake up and see my little girl smile. That's more than enough reason to keep going. Those words stuck with her. Every time she saw him, she noticed how he treated everyone the same, whether it was a businessman or a homeless man asking for water. Jack never judged anyone. He always gave what he could, even if it was just a smile or a kind word. One morning, Eleanor finally told him the truth. She told him who she really was, what she had lost, and how empty she had felt since it all ended. She expected judgment or surprise. But instead, Jack simply said, "Money can build walls. Sometimes losing it is the only way to see who's really on your side." For the first time in months, Eleanor laughed, a real, unguarded laugh. Over the next few weeks, Jack introduced her to his daughter, Lily, a bright little girl who loved to draw. Lily gave Eleanor a small picture one morning, a heart drawn in red crayon with the words, "Don't forget to smile." Eleanor framed it. That simple drawing became her reminder: hope doesn't come from what we have. It comes from who we meet, and the kindness they show. Eleanor started helping out at the diner, washing dishes, running errands. It wasn't about money anymore, it was about feeling human again. About doing something good. Months later, with the little bit she had left, she started a small foundation called Second Light. Its mission was simple: to help single parents and struggling families get back on their feet. The first grant she ever gave was to Jack, to help